The county's rank and file workers are really our lifeblood. From our clerical and our janitorial staff to our sworn peace officers and jail physicians, Orange County employees keep our communities safe, clean, and running smoothly. County employees are our public servants, and they have won countless awards for their service, their leadership, and their bravery. And more often than not, they do their work diligently without recognition, and they just quietly work behind the scenes to make our county great. We sometimes don't realize our sheriff dispatchers give victims and peace officers the information they need during a crisis. They often are saving lives and property through their calm professionalism. Our food inspectors scour local restaurants to ensure patrons are not sickened by foodborne illnesses. Our probation officers keep our community safe and help reduce and prevent recidivism. Our IT workers keep our county's IT infrastructure running, and they shield confidential public information from cyber attack. And we are the stewards of a tremendous amount of confidential and private information. We don't think about that. Our public health nurses care for our growing homelessness community, and you probably just saw yesterday we just got a significant grant. And Karen Roper and her team, $19.5 million homeless grant from the federal government. That is significant, huge, and that will make a dramatic impact. Election workers, right now as we speak, are down on Grand Avenue, and they're driving around the county, inspecting poll places, making sure that our elections maintain the integrity and the sanctity in which people have come to believe in. And I think the chairman, former Chairman Nelson, said this with respect to Neil Kelly, but I can't remember an election that's ever been questioned in this county. It might have been, there might be a recount, but the integrity election process has not been questioned. People have amazing confidence in our election workers. Sheriff's special officers are the first line of defense against crime for the Orange County residents and visitors at John Wayne Airport and courts and properties throughout the county. Our social workers are protecting vulnerable children, the elderly, the mentally ill from abuse, and work to find a loving home where they can thrive. We have forensic scientists who work every day in the lab to process crime scenes and gather the evidence to see if there's enough to put a criminal behind bars. Clerical workers protect our critical public records so they're cataloged and recorded for public access. And we have engineers who design bridges and roads to ensure that our infrastructure is safe. We have our librarians who our kids and our adults rely on to open up the imaginations of those children and those adults to make sure that we have access to information and thoughts and ideas, and that remains uncensored. We have prosecutors and sworn personnel in the Sheriff's Department and public defenders who work to make the criminal justice system achieve its goals, which is fairness and justice. So we might be the members of the Board of Supervisors, but we are an integral part, just like you, of everybody who goes to work every day to make a great difference in this county. And I am just very, very appreciative of what you all do every single day. And it's consistent with the theme of emerging from bankruptcy, because you all have made so many sacrifices over the last 2 decades when you didn't know what the future held for you or your family or your job. So our county's mission statement is making Orange County a safe, healthy, and fulfilling place to live, work, and play today and for generations to come by providing outstanding, cost-effective regional public service. That's an important and a solid foundation we should come back to time and time again. So I am planning as chairman to respark the strategic planning effort for the county. I have sat through several, both my first stint and not yet as a returning supervisor, on strategic planning. I remember we used to get together with Sharon Browning and talk about big rocks, and we would really talk about what our vision was for the county. And I want to bring that back, and I'm working with staff to bring that back, hopefully in March when Mr. Giancola returns. And I just want to say, with respect to Mr. Giancola, he went through a very, very serious surgery, and let's continue to keep him in our prayers. And then I also want to make sure we have our 5th supervisor. Sorry, I swallowed wrong. In addition, as chair, I plan to create an opportunity for employees and others to be honored before the Board of Supervisors by placing on our board, thank you, by placing on our board agenda a time frame before each board meeting. Sean, I just want you to know it's going to be before the board meeting. So 30 minutes before we do business at 9:30, on an as-needed basis, we will bring our county employees here to be recognized by the Board of Supervisors. We're emerging from bankruptcy. People have made sacrifices. I've been here for 16.5 years. I care deeply. it's important to me personally to acknowledge the people that make this place run. Just an example, Rich Adler on February 3rd and February 10th. Rich Adler, 37 years. He deserves that honor and respect. Alan Murphy, I saw Alan began with the county in 1983. And, of course, Susan Novak started with the county in 1983.
Same day as Alan.
And they will be honored and recognized publicly. And I'm going to invite all the county department heads and your staff to ensure that there are people that if you want them to be acknowledged and recognized, they will be welcome here because we want to honor them. I'm looking forward to Orange County's come of age, and I challenge each of you to consider how the county should develop. What changes do you want to see? What will our workforce succession look like, and how will our infrastructure be protected, enhanced, and secured? The makeup of this board has shifted pretty dramatically with the elections of Supervisor Steele, Vice Chair Bartlett, and then a vacancy that's being filled today. And that's a dramatic change. I mean, 3 new entities, and I just got here 2 years ago, and Sean's just starting his new term. So, I mean, we're kind of all newbies, although I had done 6 years here before, but still. It's not really about us, as Supervisor Nelson said. It's not about us individually. It's how we gel collectively as a body. So I'm humbled to serve as chair and offer my experience with the county. I really do want to commend Mike Giancola and our COO Mark Denny and our CFO Frank Kim, our assistant CEO staff. They have really worked to bring us ideas that really make a difference for the people that we serve, the public, to centralize and consolidate, working to identify cost savings and efficiencies. And I look forward to the board resolution that will be coming forward shortly to formally establish the consolidation and centralization policies that I think will make us much more efficient. I look to my colleagues for support in the hopes that the board will be supportive of the offsite strategic planning and to chart a vision for the county. Just some of the things that I'm focusing on this year is the 100 acres at the Great Park, GPS interoperability, the Tustin blimp hangar, the workforce succession plan, and the revitalization of the Civic Center, ambulance procurement, and CalOptima reform and getting out of sanctions lifted by the state and federal governments. But each district has its priorities, and you need to know unequivocally that me and my staff are here to support you and your staff. We are here, and I'm here, and they have been told unequivocally that they are here to make you and help you be successful. I know, Supervisor Steele, you want to protect the coastline and budget. You're very interested in budget reform, and we're incredibly blessed to bring your experience from the Board of Equalization. I was just speaking to Diane Harkey this morning about an unrelated matter, and I asked Diane, how are you enjoying the job? And Diane Harkey said, it's a big job, Todd. So I know what you went through, and you were a great steward, and we know you're going to do great things here. In District 4, Supervisor Nelson has been working vigorously to complete the Orange County Bike Loop, which is 66 miles of bike trails and an opportunity for people to walk and connect and bike. He's also talked about the need to foster positive and productive relationships amongst the county elected officials and leaders. He's gone to Washington many times and Wall Street many times, and he's been tireless. And that's why I appreciate Sean after 2 years, why, you deserve, you're not the kind of guy that's built to rest, but you deserve to at least step back a little bit, and it's the responsibility of others to step up and be counted. And there's no greater time for you to be at Metrolink. And I know, hopefully, with some of the plans and some of the other retirements that have been announced, that maybe you're already on the road to success. And in the 5th District, Supervisor Bartlett, you have shared your vision at your speech when you when you were sworn in for transportation and mobility. The La Plata Gap is critical. The development of South Orange County through the ranch is obviously right front and center. Your goal to work on, finish, complete, commence, whatever words I can describe Dana Point Harbor, revitalization, I'm sure all of those fit at any particular moment. But together, and then you add the 1st District focuses when we hear all about that. But together, we have a lot of work to do, a lot of heavy lifting, but I'm confident and really thrilled and excited. So the future of Orange County is unfolding before us, and each one of us today gets to play a part in what that future is going to look like. So let's get those good works together. I want you to know I have an open door policy at all times. I'm always available. And so let me talk about always being available. So almost 20 years ago, I proposed to my wife right outside these doors. I know most of you probably either proposed or accepted a proposal in marriage in some amazing place, like some bed and breakfast in Santa Barbara or, a beautiful beach in Hawaii. But I picked the most romantic spot that I could think of, which was the doors outside the Hall of Administration.
Homeless.
And let me tell you why I picked that incredibly unromantic place. Because it was 1995 and I was going to run for county supervisor in 1996. And I just needed to know that my life partner was in for that. Because this is not an easy road. This is not an easy job. And I knew how difficult it was to be elected because I was already an elected official at the time. And so my wife, Jamie Morris Spitzer, who's a judge, the presiding judge of the Workers' Compensation Board, said yes. And despite all the ups and downs, she's agreed to stay with me. The people, though, that helped me maintain and save my marriage are my staff. Okay, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I want to thank my Chief of Staff, Martha Ochoa, my Communications Director, Melanie Eustace, my Senior Policy Advisor, Chris Wynn, my Senior Policy Advisor, Carrie O'Malley, my Policy Advisor, Martin Gardner, Melissa March, and my Executive Assistant, Christine Richters. And so if you would indulge me, I just would like to acknowledge and recognize my wife who's here. I've been elected official in this county over 20 years, and I definitely know I don't say thank you enough. And so if you just give me a moment.